Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Postgame Sports. We had a lot of great NFL action yesterday, and it kicked off Thursday night. First off, shout out to the WTP Sports dudes. You can catch myself and the homies live every Tuesday and Thursday night at 7:45 p.m. You can catch us Saturday mornings live at 8 a.m. and Sunday mornings live at 9 a.m. Check us out. Just good content. But I want to give my thoughts on the NFL slate of games this past weekend. A lot of good action, a lot of terrible injuries. We hope those players get back safe and soon and have a quick recovery. First game I want to look at is that Thursday night matchup. You had the Eagles and the Giants. Eagles 4-2, Giants moved to 2-4. Eagles 17, Giants 34. Now, no Malik Neighbors, and the Giants get the job done. No Malik Neighbors. But the thing is, I felt like the Giants finally found their QB in Jackson Dart. Cam Scatterbo is a monster at the running back position. But I gotta ask, their style of play, how they run the ball, how physically they run the ball, especially with Cam Scatterbo. Can this last? Can they keep this up? Can Jackson Dart stay healthy running the ball the way he does? It's interesting to see. And where is Saquon Barkley? Does he still have the juice? Because he's not running the ball like he has last year and in previous years with the New York Giants. He only has 58 yards of rushing this game. So I got to ask myself, we have to ask ourselves, is Saquon Barkley still that same running back that we're used to seeing? Or has the NFL game taken its toll on his body? We'll see. The Eagles were without Jalen Carter this game. So how did that affect their run defense? And if they had Jalen Carter, would they have been able to slow down that Eagles rushing attack? Really interesting. Let's take it overseas. Let's go to Broncos and the Jets. The Broncos win this game 13-11. The Broncos moved to 4-2 on the season. The Jets moved to 0-6 on the season. And the Jets had their chances to win this game. Justin Fields goes 9 for 17 with only 45 yards passing. And I think to myself, is this the reason that Mike Tomlin didn't want Justin Fields in Pittsburgh, as they didn't re-sign him and they chose to go with Aaron Rodgers as their starting quarterback? Now, I'm a Fields believer. I think the kid has a lot of talent. But games like this, you got to wonder if he's really a starting quarterback in the NFL moving forward. The Broncos defense played outstanding. They sacked Fields 9 times. They really got after him. They couldn't get that passing game going, couldn't get the running game going. On the Broncos end, I think they really need to scheme Cortland Sutton, their number one wide receiver, open a little more. I know he had a difficult matchup going against Sauce Gardner, but that guy is a monster. He's a stud. Denver Broncos need to figure out ways to get Cortland Sutton the ball in tough matchups. So I know those overseas games are kind of weird, but the Broncos get a win. They did what they're supposed to do. The Jets, the first year head coach of the Jets, seems to be in trouble already as they are winless on the season. Let's move to the Browns and Steelers. Steelers win this game 23-9. The Browns fall to 1-5 on the season. The Steelers 4-1. My thoughts are Dylan Gabriel, starting quarterback for the Browns, is not it. How do you pass? First, he goes 29 of 52 and only has 221 passing yards. That's inefficient. That's not going to get it done. If most NFL quarterbacks pass the ball 52 times, they're normally at 300 to 400 yards passing. The Browns need to give Shador Sanders a look. That defense for the Cleveland Browns is too good, too elite to not have an offense that complements them. So if I'm the Browns, I'm giving Shador the keys first day of practice this week. And I'm gonna see what I got in Shador because as a lot of y'all know, I feel like Shador was one of the better quarterbacks in his draft class, and he failed, and we're not going to get into that. But just know, I think the Browns, if they want to give themselves a chance to win, they need to go to Shador Sanders, and not now, but right now. The Steelers are running away with the AFC North. No Joe Burrow, no Lamar Jackson, no problem. The Steelers are really set up for success as far as winning that division goes, being 4-1 this early in the season. And Aaron Rodgers and that team is getting it done. A lot of people thought Aaron Rodgers was past his prime, which he is. He's past his prime, but they thought he wouldn't be able to get it done. And Aaron Rodgers is getting it done for the Pittsburgh Steelers. One of the things I think the Steelers could do is get 6'7", 264-pound tight end Darnell Washington some more looks. He's had 6 catches on 8 targets the past 2 weeks. So I really like that big tight end they got in Pittsburgh, and I'm looking forward to see if they can get him more involved in the game plan. We'll see what happens. How y'all doing? It's Postgame Sports. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mossberg, what up, homie? Got my homie Mossberg in here. It's all good, man. Just sit back and enjoy the show. I know you're getting ready for work. Let's take it to the Dolphins and Chargers. What a game. The Dolphins 27, the Chargers 29. The Dolphins moved to 1-5 on the season. The Chargers moved to 4-2 on the season. Now, my takeaway from this game is Kamani Vidal stepping in for the injured Omarion Hampton and going 18 carries for 124 yards. He also added 3 catches for 14 yards and a touchdown. Now, if you play fantasy, I didn't think once Omarion Hampton went down, the Chargers had a capable running back in their stable to kind of replace him and pick up the pace for the injured running back. But Kamani Vidal proved me wrong, proved a lot of people wrong. He was very successful in that run game when it comes to the Chargers. Lad McConkey, after starting slow to the season, he has 7 catches for 100 yards and a touchdown. This Dolphins team is dealing with a lot of injuries, not just to the running back position, but to their offensive line. So it'd be interesting to see how that offense moves moving forward. The Dolphins, Devon Achane had a monster game, 128 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. The thing is, Tua can't stop turning the ball over. He can't stop turning the ball over. He had 3 interceptions in this game. And then is it over for so-called offensive genius Mike McDaniel in Miami? His team is 1-5. Tua doesn't look as sharp as a lot of people. Remember, a lot of people were talking about tanking for Tua when he entered the draft. or before he entered the draft. So 1-5 is not going to get it done. I question if they have the kind of offensive line needed for a player like Tua. And we'll see what happens later on today, later on this week, if Mike McDaniel is able to keep his job in Miami. Let's move to another interesting team, the New England Patriots. New England and New Orleans play. Patriots win this one 25, Saints 19. The Patriots improved to 4-2. The Saints 1-5. Now, the New England Patriots, they came off a big win against Buffalo, conference rival, the Buffalo Bills, and they get a huge win against Buffalo. Then they travel to New Orleans and get a win against the Saints. And Drake May, man, what can I say? Drake May is playing some really good ball right now. He had 261 yards passing yesterday to go with 3 touchdowns. Surprisingly, May also led the team in rushing with only 28 yards. My question is, will we see Travion Henderson kind of carry the load like we expected in the offseason, become the RB1 of this team? When will he be released? Travion Henderson needs to be released. They need some type of run game if they're going to be contenders and win the AFC East. They just have to. The Saints, they get 1 touchdown. Their kicker scores 13 points in this game. Unbelievable. And that 1 touchdown was a 1-yard rush by Taysom Hill. So we'll see moving forward if New England truly has the goods and can be true contenders, because Drake May is having a breakout season thus far. Rams 17, Ravens 3. The Rams moved to 4-2. The Ravens moved to 1-5. Puka Nacua suffered an ankle injury in the game, and the team is unsure if he'll get to play next week. I believe that game next week for the Rams will be overseas. King Henry goes 24 carries for 122 yards. And my question is, are the Ravens too far gone for Lamar Jackson to come back and save their season? Not only Lamar Jackson, they got a lot of injuries on that team. A lot of people are suggesting that they put Lamar Jackson on ice because the season is too far gone. I don't know about that. If he can come back next week, I think the Ravens got a small chance to rebound and possibly make the playoffs as a wild card, but we'll see what happens. Is Coach Harbaugh in trouble? Some people are suggesting the Ravens fire Coach Harbaugh. I'm not one of those people. I don't think he's in trouble. I believe that's one of the best ran organizations in football, the Baltimore Ravens. I don't think they do things like that. But I think next year, coming into the season, if everyone's healthy, that'd be the year he's on the hot seat, if ever he's on the hot seat. It's real interesting. We'll see what happens with Puka Nacua. We'll see if Lamar Jackson and a lot of those players are able to come back healthy this coming week in football. My Colts, my Indianapolis Colts, played the Cardinals at home. Colts get the win in this one, 31-27. The Colts improved to 5-1 on the season. The Cardinals fall to 2-4 on the season. My takeaways from this game was the Cardinals offense looked a lot better with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback. He went 320 yards and 2 touchdowns. Brissett was able to find Arizona's weapons. Trey McBride had a big game, 8 catches on 11 targets, 72 yards and a touchdown. You even saw Marvin Harrison Jr. getting the ball early before he left the game with an injury, and we hope he has a speedy recovery and it's nothing major and he's able to get back this coming week. Could there be a quarterback controversy in Arizona? Because I'm telling y'all right now, Jacoby Brissett looked really good. And I know that the Colts have some injuries in that secondary that they were probably able to take advantage of. But Jacoby Brissett looked like he's able to see the field better than Kyler Murray has thus far this season. I know he's not as explosive as Kyler Murray as far as running the ball. Excuse me. But Jacoby Brissett didn't play bad at all and gave the Cardinals a chance to win. The Colts, my Indianapolis Colts are just meat and potatoes, man. Meat and potato, steak and potatoes. You don't need anything else but a steak and a side of potatoes. That's what kind of team the Colts are. I love what Coach Steichen says. We pass the ball to score. We run the ball to win the game. I love that saying from Coach Steichen. Uh, are the Colts legit Super Bowl contenders? It's something we gotta ask ourselves. They're 5-1. They're on top of the AFC South. Listen, if you would have told me um, Indiana Jones was gonna play this well coming into the season, I would have thought you were smoking something. But I was wrong. Indiana Jones looks really good. Jonathan Taylor, that running game looks really good. And let me say this, Tyler Warren, the rookie tight end for the Colts, was one of the best tight ends in the NFL the second he was drafted. And again, I said this on past streams. I got to thank the Chicago Bears for passing up on Tyler Warren and let him fall to the Indianapolis Colts because that kid is a baller and he's going to crush some records and he's going to be an outstanding pro moving forward. Let's move on to the next game. Seahawks 20, Jaguars 12. The Seahawks move to 4-2. The Jaguars fall to 4-2. Jackson Smith and Jigba, wide receiver from The Ohio State University, continues to have a stellar year. 8 catches, 162 yards, and a touchdown. That kid is balling. Jackson Smith and Jigba, enjoy watching him play. And they just need to keep feeding him the ball. Now, I don't know what the Seahawks are doing at the running back position. I just don't. They have Zach Charbonnet. They got Kenneth Walker. Nobody it seems to be able to get off really. These are 2 really good running backs because they're in so much of a timeshare, I believe. Uh, I think the Seahawks need to trade one of these running backs. I think they need to trade Kenneth Walker or Zach Charbonnet and get what they can for them because I mean, I don't understand the system. There's no way for a running back to get off like they're supposed to, get the tough yards, have breakout games, breakaway runs because they can't get in a groove because they're coming on and off the field. So I think that's something to look out for in the coming weeks. Would a Jaguar or would a Seahawks trade one of those 2 running backs? The Jaguars got Brian Thomas going, 8 catches, 90 yards, and touchdowns. And the Jaguars, what they do is they miss a chance to keep pace with the Indianapolis Colts for that AFC South title crown as they fall to 4-2 instead of being 5-1 and being tied with the Indianapolis Colts, who probably should be undefeated, may I add. Trevor Lawrence has not looked bad at all these last few weeks, which is surprising to me because I was, along with a lot of other people, was ready to call Trevor Lawrence a bust. So he's starting to get it going. Could they make the NFL playoffs as a wild card team? That's going to be really interesting to see. Or could they take the lead for the division over from the Indianapolis Colts? So I got my eye on that division heavy. Cowboys 27, Panthers 30. The Cowboys fall to 2-3-1. The Panthers improved to 3-3. Rico Dowdle, man, 30 carries, 183 yards, just slicing up NFL defenses these last couple weeks. he has been the starter with the injury to Chuba Hubbard. Um, so we got to ask: does Chuba Hubbard, excuse me, keep his RB1 status once he returns from injury, or is this now Rico Dotto's job? Dak Prescott continues to play QB at a high level, even without CeeDee Lamb. As CeeDee Lamb has been injured the last few weeks, we'll see if he'll come back to action this coming week. They need him bad. But how about the Carolina Panthers? I thought they played well on defense against the run. They didn't let Javonte Williams take off like he has in previous weeks. And Bryce hasn't looked bad either. I thought he played well, finding Ted McMillan, and he's looking better and better. Or was it just the Dallas Cowboys defense? We got to keep our eyes on that situation. Titans 10, Raiders 20. Uh, Great defensive performance by the Raiders. They sacked Cam Ward 6 times. And that's what you got to do when you playing a rookie quarterback. You got to get after him. You got to put him on his behind. You got to confuse him, give him different looks, and make him speed up the processing. You do that, and you're gonna have a game like the Raiders did against the Titans. And I think it's time for the Titans to make Spears the primary running back. I really do. I think it's time. I just think Spears, at this point in his career and coming back from an injury where he was out, I think the first 4 games of the season, I just think he looks to have more juice than Pollard thus far. So if I'm Tennessee, I'm giving the bulk of the carries to Tajay Spears. I'm letting Pollard be the complimentary back. But that's just me. What do y'all think? Bengals 18, Packers 27. The Bengals fall to 2-4. The Packers move to 3-1-1. And I got a few takeaways from this game. Number one, Joe Flacco didn't look bad at all. I felt like he was exactly what the Bengals needed at quarterback while Joe Burrow is out. A lot of people didn't like the signing, and I understand why. The Bengals don't have the greatest offensive line, and Joe Flacco is older and he's getting up in age, and so I can see why people thought signing Joe Flacco was a bad move. But after 1 game, signing Joe Flacco was a great move because this guy just found his playmakers. He got the ball out quick. He found Jamar Chase. He found T. Higgins. He even found Chase Brown at the backfield. So Joe Flacco did not look bad at all. And while I don't think they can win many games, mainly because of the defense, that offense should be able to put up points moving forward with Joe Flacco at the quarterback position. Jamar Chase, did y'all see the catch for the touchdown Jamar Chase had? Jamar Chase is simply just the best wide receiver in the NFL, in my opinion. That dude can take a 5-yard quick slant to the house from anywhere on the field. Just an amazing athlete, amazing wide receiver, crazy quickness and speed. Hands are amazing. Just Jamar Chase is just that dude. And I love watching him play. And I'm happy that the Cincinnati Bengals have a quarterback who can get Jamar Chase the ball. On the Green Bay side, Josh Jacobs is one of the few bell cows in the league. That dude is a monster, and he ran the ball really well for the Green Bay Packers. So they just need to continue to feed him the ball. It's going to be interesting to see how good the Green Bay Packers are, because a lot of people were picking the Packers to win the Super Bowl after week 1 and 2. But slow your roll. We got a long season ahead of us. So we'll see what happens. 49ers 19, Tampa Bay Buccaneers 30. Uh, the Niners moved to 4-2. The Buccaneers moved to 5-1. Despite being littered with injury, the Tampa Bay and they lost Emeka Ibuka this game due to injury. And Baker Mayfield's like whatever. So what? And still gets the job done. We wish Fred Warner a speedy recovery as he left this game with injury. Excuse me. Yeah, so Fred Warner, we want to wish him a speedy recovery. Hold on. Hmm. Hmm. Mossberg, what it do, baby?
How's it going this after morning into the afternoon post game with the Chiefs?
Hold on, bro. Take over for a second.
How's everyone going? Still doing some of the NFL recaps. I believe we was at the Cincinnati Bengals and Green Bay. As you see, I'm a diehard Bengals fan. You see the Bengals hat in the background. It's good to have me as well. Appreciate you having me today this afternoon to start. Of course, I'm kind of rumbling through getting myself ready for work. But as he was saying about the Bengals game, Joe Flacco, seeing the offense move the way it has moved, it was moving yesterday for me was a great thing. Like you said, getting it to his targets, finding Chase Brown. For us, it's just still that defensive side of the ball, just making tackles, making plays, getting a little more active on the defensive side. And Jamar Chase, like you said, is man. I told people, man, how I feel about him. I think he should be the top player in the NFL. I mean, respectably to the QB situation, but he's a talent, man. And I'm glad that he is able to come to Cincinnati and him and Higgins sign that contract. So I still have high hopes for us, even after the loss against Green Bay. I still think we can make a run for it, get to the playoffs with his leadership, and get that wild card. I would rather see us with a wild card playing with a little hunger and grit. I think we'll be a better team playing that way.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was going over the 49ers and Buccaneers. The Niners lost Fred Warner to injury. I was wishing him a speedy recovery, but the Buccaneers have been littered with injuries, and they lost Emeka Ibuka in that game yesterday. I don't know, excuse me, for how long, but Baker Mayfield, bro, has looked really good. Do you think he's the leader for MVP thus far?
I mean, we got to give Baker Mayfield his credit. Journeyman, I think a lot of people wrote him off, even coming to Tampa Bay, even after getting Tampa Bay to the playoffs, a couple of years, still not really talking about him. He's my front runner along with a few others. I can't really pinpoint those few others right now, but I think Baker Mayfield definitely tops the charts right now. I mean, just leading this Buccaneers team through the injury of Mike Evans, and now you're going to ask him to continue, with Emeka Ibuka, one of his targets, as he was leading for, my vote getter for Rookie of the Year as well, coming into this week. So you're not having two great specimens, and I'm gonna call Emeka Ibuka a specimen because of his production this year, and I think it's going to be seen in the years to come as well. So, I mean, Baker Mayfield MVP right now, definitely. I mean, you got to give it to him, and he's still doing it through the injuries. Bucky Irving in the backfield, like we said, Mike Evans, and then next week I'm not for sure if they got a bye, but if he can continue this win streak with these injuries, we can't negate what he's doing. And your boy as well, with that hat you have on. I was talking comeback player of the season, but man, the way he's looking week in, week out, I mean, we got to respect him. Every season is different. Last season is out the window. This is a new season. So with the injuries, we got to give him his props as well. But Baker definitely has my vote right now for the MVP.
Yeah, I second that. I don't think it's particularly close. I mean, I think you can throw Dak Prescott in the conversation, but he has to continue to win. He got to rack up wins, and we'll see how good Dallas is once they get CeeDee Lamb back. Another guy for MVP that I like right now is Patrick Mahomes. When you just look at his numbers, he's putting up some big numbers, and I expect that offense to be on fire when they get Rasheed Rice back from
Yeah,
suspension next week. Let's I got one more game left on the slate. Speaking of the Chiefs get the job done last night, Sunday night football. They get the victory 30-17 over the Lions. Patrick Mahomes, in my opinion, bro, is still the best quarterback in the league. And like I said, I expect that offense to look even better once they get Rasheed Rice back from suspension. And they really gonna be a problem, and they can still win the AFC West. But yeah, they're in the West. They can still win the AFC West, bro.
yeah,
What was your thoughts on the game last night?
man. I was, for me, I got a nice glimpse of that second half in that game, and I was asking myself, is this the Detroit team we've come to see, or is this the Kansas City team we didn't want to see? They're getting dangerous week by week, getting these players back from injury. I don't know why I always slip up on the Texas guy, Woody, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, we seeing what he can do with that specimen as well. I think Mahomes, like, I'm kind of how Jamar Chase be sometimes with Mahomes, but I respectably got to get this man his credit, man. He's doing what he do week in, week out, and a lot of people wrote him off earlier in the season, and they put together these wins, and to beat a Detroit Lions team, that's not an easy task, especially with the offensive caliber that they have in that backfield as well as that quarterback and receiver tandem. So we got to watch this Kansas City team. I know I'm looking at our standings, and we was thinking of Denver, winning this conference. We had one in T1. He picked that Kansas City could still, win this conference. We look at them in certain ways. Early in the season, they've been getting healthy, so got to definitely keep an eye on this Kansas City team. And you're right, Mahomes is definitely probably looking like the top QB outside of Baker Mayfield just this season in this early beginning, but we can't negate him as the best over these years for sure.
Oh yeah, and the thing about that offense, man, you're gonna have so many levels to it. And what Travis Kelsey has lost in athleticism, he makes up for with his IQ and
Yeah,
his chemistry with Pat Mahomes. So you having Worthy out there, you having Hollywood Brown out there,
that's what it
Juju
is.
Smith Schuster. Now enter the best wide receiver on that roster, in my opinion, and Rasheed Rice, and you still got Travis Kelsey. I know they aren't the best at running the ball. I think they should give Bashar some more looks in that offense. Me personally, I think he can be that check down target. That guy out the backfield who gives problems to the defense. So I think they should give Bashar Smith some more looks with that starting offense. What say you?
I, I totally agree. I like that. They definitely got to find a run game for sure. But like you said about Kelsey, and then I watched Smith Schuster. He seemed to be running some of those routes that Kelsey ran during that Super Bowl run and that stout AFC where we was looking at them as that dynasty. So I mean, they find that run game more. Pacheco keep, giving them them little gains here and there and gaining strength throughout the game. I think we can't count this Kansas City team out, man. They still might be looking at an AFC championship, man. I mean, the way they look yesterday, they look like they could definitely be back in the AFC and give a lot of teams some problems.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I know you missed a lot of the rundown, so I just want to ask you, the Carolina Panthers, bro. Uh, Rico Dowdle has been on a tear lately. When Chuba Hubbard gets back healthy, does he get his job back, or is this Rico Dowdle's job now?
Man, normally when you speak in a Rico, it's on a bad side, but this is a good side. This Rico is legit. This Rico has really found a home. I think he done found a home in Carolina, and now guess what? Carolina have two backs that they could put out on the field. You got Thunder and you got Lightning. And that's reference to what we used to see, I think, in San Diego. I can't remember who they Thunder and Lightning. So I think it's something to see. I think Chuba definitely is going to get his carries, but I think Dowdell's in a position to take that spot. And he was ready. We talk about the next man up. He was ready for the role. You know, of course, we spoke good about Chuba and how he's a great back. He does his job well as also. So I think this is just something to see in Carolina. It's good to see them forming something great. It's good to see that offseason play a good part. You know, we seen Horn on the offensive side get a couple catches out of Colorado his rookie year, finally getting themselves back in tune. And we seen that defensive side of the ball that they invested a lot of money in. And I recall speaking about Carolina, watching how they developed over the year, seeing how this year would be kind of a growing year as they retool everything in Carolina, find that identity. And guess what? Bryce Young got him another win. I think it's a good thing brewing in Carolina. I think Dowdell and Hubbard have talked to each other quite a bit. I think in order for you to be successful as Dowdell has been, you have to respect what was there before you and having that togetherness and understanding and communication. I think that's a part of his success as well. So, you know, shout out to the guys in the locker room and him for, you know, continuing to put forth that fight and getting better and wanting to maintain and be that back as well.
How about this question from our man FanDuel? Do y'all think Bryce Young is the answer long term? What you got on that?
You know, I've been with Bryce Young, man, even when he got benched last year. I spoke highly on this Carolina team. I feel like he's in a position to prove himself until you see nothing else on the upside. I think all we seeing is the whole upside of Bryce Young. I think we seeing him grow. I think this season is growth, long term. They've had quarterbacks at his height. They've done it with Jake Delhomme. So I think Bryce is the answer to long term. Can he continue to manage this Carolina offense as they get healthy on the offensive side and continue to mold that defense into being a great defense? So I think he's the long term right now for Carolina as he continue to progress this season.
Yeah, I like Bryce Young. I'm a believer, but I think the jury is still out. We need a little bit more to make that call on if he's the long term answer or not. Let me ask you a question, bro. My Indianapolis Colts 5-1, good victory over the Cardinals, who look better with Brissett at quarterback than they did with Kyler Murray. He was finding they playmakers. Do you think the Colts are a legit Super Bowl threat thus far this season?
I think you can you can assess this better for me because you're a diehard Colts fan, but I'm gonna tap into the history. Last time the Colts was this hot, they went to the playoffs and they won the Super Bowl, and they was a threat for years. I'm gonna say y'all a threat, not just because of the fact y'all got an MVP candidate at running back, but the way y'all's defense play. And I think Daniel Jones has found a home in Indy. And man, I mean, we can't negate it. It's week in, week out, everybody waiting to see what it's going to be. It's like the Indiana in college football, but these are the Colts and they in the NFL. They've proven it to you week in, week out, why they deserve to be where they at, and for people to talk about them in the next aspect, which is Super Bowl for the Colts, and you know, even playoff for the Hoosiers on the college football side. So just a lot of great football going on in Indiana this year for sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Do you think Jacoby Brissett, he played well, bro.
Yeah,
Uh, do you think there's a quarterback controversy in Arizona, or do you think Kyler Murray just gets his job back when he gets back healthy?
man. Listen. I'm gonna say this: if Brissett comes out and lead the Cardinals to a win lot next week, and he plays better than he played this past week, his job is in jeopardy. I mean, what else can we look at? I don't think that if you ask me as an Arizona Cardinals fan, do we want to keep seeing the franchise quarterback lead us to possible chances of the playoffs for having somebody there giving us a chance week in, week out, giving it they all to try to lead us to the playoffs? I mean, that's just my take on that itself. So I think Brissett is in a position to get a starting quarterback position before the season is over for sure.
Interesting. Let's if you're the Baltimore Ravens they sit at 1-5 currently, do you throw Lamar Jackson back out there, or do you just put him on ice for the season? And if you do put him out there, do you think they have a chance to scrap and claw their way back into the playoff hunt?
Man, that's tough in that AFC right now. 1-5. Pittsburgh seemed to be having a way with the division. Shout out to Parlay Poe and his Blitzburg Steelers. I'm not even going to say Pittsburgh because they was blitzing and looking real good yesterday. Um, it's tough. Man, I want to say put him on chill, but if you're the organization, the question is going to loom. If you put him on chill, I think it's time for Lamar to find him a new home, possibly. That's a question that's going to be something that can be talked about. If they put him on ice, are they looking to possibly trade him or bring him back? And this team that they've had together now, it's been a few years. We really haven't seen what they thought about and talked about. So with this injury happening, does that slow that process, or does that process gain strength? And right now it's losing momentum. It has no strength. You're trying to find an identity all over in Baltimore, which is something crazy to me. But I don't. That's man. Bringing back, if you can make a win or two out of it, that's just a tough question. I'm kind of like on a fence with this. You don't know to bring him back or to not bring him back, because 1-5 it's a deep hole to get out of right now. I think they 3 games back.
Yeah, I agree, man. But I will say this: if there's any player that I believe can turn a season around like that, it would be Lamar Jackson. What do you think? Yeah, that FanDuel Zay, that defense is banged up as well, man. They missing a lot of starters. But Mossberg, what do you think about the situation in Miami? Do you think Mike McDaniels is out of there? Will he be fired sometime today or tomorrow? Or do you think he keeps his job? The Dolphins are 1-5. Tua just coming off a 3 interception game. They just can't get right. What do you think they do with their head coach?
I think we seen a few go this weekend on the college football side. Why not on the NFL side? I think he's out of there before the week over, possibly before the day over. After seeing that Tua press conference and the way he was talking, I would say today, but I'm gonna say the next couple of days possibly. I don't know what to say about that organization, that team right now. It's like you've invested in so much in this offense, and we seeing teams do that it trickles down, and next thing you know, the coach is up on the deck. And I think he's gone before this week over. I'm not gonna say today, but it won't surprise me. But I'm gonna say before this week over, I think we will see a couple.
Wow, man. I like Mike McDaniel, man. He was considered an offensive genius. I just don't think, the situation with Tua, they haven't really created the type of offensive line that you need for a player like that to be really effective. But We'll see what happens. My last question for you, Moss, and we can get up out of here. Uh, the Cleveland Brownies with Dylan Gabriel, man, he slung the rock 52 times yesterday and only came up with 221 yards passing. Is it time for the Browns to quit being silly and put Shador Sanders in the game?
12, 12, 12, 12. Put your door in, get that stadium sold out, get a win. I said in our chat yesterday, the Browns won't see no success. They won't see no wins until Shador's in. Stop. I understand everything. I get it. I don't know what the hoopla is about, what anything is about, or why this young man can't get on the field. I get it. You might have drafted Dylan Gabriel early in the first, second round, whatnot, whatever. Why not get this young man a chance to do what he loved to do, and that's sling the football? When your all-pro defensive end is pulling this young man to the side and to tell him to keep going, that should let you know there's something special about this kid that you got to unlock and unload. Let the Cleveland Brown Stadium, let the fans enjoy what this young kid will bring to the organization, man. Shador would have found the end zone quite a few times, fans will say. And I think he could have threw for 300 of them things. You know, with his height, I think he just brings a different level to the game. And I think early in this season, when we talked, I said he would get 8+ starts. I think we could be at that point to where he could get 8. Put him in next week. Make him the starter before this week is over, Stefanski. We calling you out. Put Shador in.
Yeah, man, it's just time. It's just time. I didn't, me personally, I never thought. That's how you know there's some politics involved in the whole situation because, and we don't got to get into that. But I never thought Dylan Gabriel was on Shador's level. If you just want to talk talent, at the quarterback position. I thought it was funny business the whole time, but like my man Mossberg just said, I think it's time for the Cleveland Browns to get that act right and get Shador Sanders his chance. And I think Shador is going to prove a lot of people wrong once he gets the keys to that offense.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. You got any more thoughts before we get out of here on the NFL Week 6?
Nah, no thoughts, man. Just really, and shout out to the Buccaneers and what they doing. Shout out to your coach, the Chiefs coming and doing what they doing. Even the rookies that might not be getting wins, man, just out there playing football. Shout out to all the coaches, winning or losing. Just every NFL team, man. Like we have to realize, like these guys is getting out there putting their bodies on the line week in, week out. So definitely got to respect that, and they're giving us something to see, something to watch, man, and we love it. And it give us time to sit back and do what we do best, talk a little bit about it, you know, detect what we like, what we love, what we see, what we feel. But definitely been a great season to start, man, and it's only getting started. NFL put 12 in the game, Cleveland. That's really my only take from the NFL, man. This past week, I think Shador is more than proven, you know, on a college level. And I think it's just that time for him to get his dues, man. I think it's just that time for him to get his dues in the shot.
Best division currently before we go.
Man, that's a great question. I'm a man.
I want to say the AFC West with Kansas City, Denver, and the Chargers. I want to say the AFC West, bro. What you got?
Man. AFC West, the way, man. It's always one team in the division that's making it crazy. But that West, even though the Raiders struggles, I think with the way Denver playing, Kansas City, the Chargers, I think we got it right now. Give it to that AFC West. I mean, Mahomes, herbs and spices, Bo, Bronco. We know what he's doing. So, respectably, I think that division gonna come down to the will to win, who's gonna fight, and that might be the one to watch this year with the injuries in the North on the AFC side, which I was looking at to be the division to watch. I think we have to put some respect on the AFC West right now. I think that's the best division. Because I was
Yeah,
going,
go
yeah.
ahead.
No, I was just saying I was looking at the NFC South. It's just even though Carolina's rebuilding, the fact that New Orleans haven't given us nothing, and the rebuild with Carolina. If Carolina had a couple more wins, they could definitely be that other division challenging as well in one of the top divisions this year with the success of Tampa Bay and the way Atlanta's playing as well this early. So just a thought on that South.
Yeah, I would say the AFC West. I think they could possibly get three playoff teams in this year. But I would say the most interesting one is that NFC East and who's going to win that division. With Philly not looking as dominant as they have, I know they have some injuries across that offensive line and on defense. Maybe they can get healthy and they'll look better. But right now, Philly doesn't look as dominant as they've had in the past.
Right.
Washington is on the rise. We saw some juice from the Giants on Thursday Night Football. And when Dallas gets CeeDee Lamb back, can they start to rack up some wins? So that's
Right.
a really good question. It's going to be interesting to see as the season unfolds. Well, that's all I got. Like, share, subscribe, hit that bell so you know when we going live. Nobody do it better. WTP Sports News, Mossberg, Level Up Sports 10, Blissberg, Team Wine, somebody else with City League TV, FanDuel, Zaya. Check all of us out. It's great content. That's all we got. Peace.
Peace.